Hello and welcome to the Our Metroidvania podcast. This is Cauldrath from the Our Metroidvania subreddit and Discord.
Hi, this is Master. I'm also from there.
Hi, I'm Atcero, and I'm the local Monkey Island player.
And this week we're going to be discussing the Game Club game, which was Shantae and the Pirate's Curse. Hopefully you all got it for free from Good Old Games.
Oh, this hurts to watch. Yes!
Well,
It's so
but
fast!
gotta go fast.
Pretty much. I do have it muted too, so hopefully no one's ears gets blown out. I forgot to start recording, so you know what? I'll download the VOD.
The first
And
thing that struck me about this game was, wow, this is a really bad Metal Slug clone.
I have never played
you
Metal
don't
Slug.
you don't even shoot. At least not most of the time.
No, but
Honestly,
all the Ammo Baron stuff is, clearly themed after Metal Slug, but I guess maybe arcade games in general.
hey man, Metal Baron's
Well,
just trying his best, or Ammo Baron, he's just trying to take over the town, and Shantae comes in and's like, no, you can't do that, even though he's well within his right. He bought the town. The mayor was a
Yeah.
dumbass.
Mhm. I don't know what laws they have set up where the mayor can literally sell the entire town.
I mean,
Honestly,
look at that. That's just a Metal Slug tank. It's a
well,
Metal Slug, as they call it.
this game's art style was beautiful in my opinion. Like that's what caught was me right away. It's like I noticed the pixel art and I'm like, God damn, this is sexy.
Yeah, the
This
art's
boss
in
was
this game.
not very good. You just stand under the crates and wait for him to shoot a red
It
ball.
is the tutorial boss, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, the tutorial's pretty weak, I feel.
I didn't think it
Well,
was too bad.
there's not lot that you can do at the beginning of the game, so there isn't a lot to teach you.
Mm.
It's just like jump and hair whip,
Ah,
and I guess
yes.
use items.
Risky tits. Literally every female character in this game is just fucking double to triple D's in the house.
I I wouldn't mind it if the outfits weren't absolutely dreadful looking in the what do you call the art on the side of the screen that pops up when characters are talking?
Art, I
Um,
guess.
There's a word.
I don't know, dialogue art or something like that. Although distinctly remember you. Okay, I am looking at it right now. At Sarah, you said that Shantae is easily an A cup. She flat.
When?
Um, April.
April, what art was I looking at?
Um,
The wrong art.
that
Because
was
in the original,
probably
she is kind of an A cup. She's
that
A
was,
to B. In this game, however, she's got heftier.
eh, I'm not sure which game it's from.
Oh, jeez, you're fucking quoting me. Metroid.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's definitely an A cup in that one. Okay. That one, what game was that? Was that the newest one? I want to say that's the
Seven
newest one.
Sirens.
Huh?
It might be Seven Sirens.
Yeah. Okay, and Seven Sirens A cup. In this game, she's not an A cup.
All right.
I'm just saying. Yeah,
Despite
they're a
my
lot bigger. Holy fuck. Okay, tit talk aside, Master.
That's one of the biggest features of this game.
despite my initial misgivings about some of the stylistic choices in this game, I was fine with it, except for one sequence in the game,
The
which I
running
really
one.
did not like.
The stealth one.
Which will yeah we'll get to it.
Is
So
it the? Oh,
one thing that I do like about this game is that you have a nice fast walk speed, though.
yeah. It felt good to move.
Yeah, you don't have a dash. Like you get a speed booster later, but I didn't really feel like I needed a dash because you actually walk at a reasonable speed.
Oh no, I love the dash. I loved risky boots.
I mean, the walk speed's fine. Some of the rooms are just very horizontally large, though.
Yeah.
So there is a lot of walking. You can kind of see that even in some of this sped up gameplay here.
Yeah.
The way the maps are laid out, you usually start out in a linear area where your objective is to walk horizontally for a long period of time. And it can be kind of annoying traversing those areas unless you have the dash.
That is actually kind of how Demon's Crest is laid out. So if they did take more inspiration from Demon's Crest, that's kind of actually in line for that style of game. For better or worse.
I feel like Demon's Crest had more branching paths, though.
Sometimes. I think it really depended on the level.
Hmm.
Because I think the Frozen Barrens were pretty linear, and then once you got the flight, then you could access one other area, I want to say.
I think you might have had to have gotten the flight before you can even go there.
Oh, and then you just had to know you had to fly up.
Yep.
Who the fuck would have figured that out?
You can't go left, as Future complains about, but you can go up.
Yeah. Holy shit, if you look up crest likes just in Google, mine is the first one. Beautiful.
I'm not
Beautiful.
surprised. Are you searching with the hyphen or without
No!
the hyphen?
Actually, it wouldn't matter because I say crest like or crest like hyphen. I have the hyphen right after it, too. You always give me shit for spelling it without the hyphen, but I did put the hyphenated version right in the first line. So.
I mean, we
But
are
I'm saying-
term pioneers,
Yeah.
you know. Who else would you what else would you expect to come up when you search Crestlake?
I mean, Cauldrath coined it. I just am the advocate of it.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is it's more likely for me to show up than you if you add the hyphen, like
Oh, really?
relative to. No, I'm just saying, like, I use the hyphen, so
Oh, we're
if you search with, okay,
we're
like yours might still be the first one, but it's more likely that I'd have a higher ranking thing if you put the hyphen in.
No, that's still me.
Anyways,
There's a lot of birds.
I did kind of dislike the way some of the side quests work in this game. You're exploring along and you have to follow a linear path, basically. But sometimes you have two directions to go, and down one of those paths will be the key that you need to go down the other path.
Mm.
So then you go down the other path, and then and you realize,
Yeah.
oh, it's locked. I gotta go get the key.
I actually chose pretty much correctly for which path to go down every single time. So I only ran into that issue like maybe once.
Yeah, it's still this game. This game is definitely a mixed bag. It has a lot of good things in it, but it also just has some, I feel like, subpar execution of ideas at times.
I think that's just how way forward games wind up being.
And like, the level design isn't the best either, I wouldn't say.
I didn't
Well, I
mind
think
it.
the island separation kind of like restricts what they can do.
I love this game's
That's just-
humor though. The fucking super white ass girls that have the light blind or bounce off of them and fucking activate it.
There's a lot of stuff here that is just like weird coincidences allow you to go forward. Like here's another one where it's like if he didn't mess this up, you would have just been done.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't go into this game expecting that sort of thing to make sense.
Oh, you did the
But it
grind.
was still a little
I
annoying.
was trying to get health
at
back.
times.
And then you
And it's
immediately
just
get a
not
heart.
Yeah.
There's
But then
always...
they also like spawn instantly out of the hole.
Yeah, I know, that
Which-
was bullshit.
Yeah. And like right there, it's like, how am I supposed to know? Well, I guess there is a little thing up there, but
This game does have some problems with enemies being off screen and you being hit by them. Maybe you land on the enemy, or they shoot a projectile from off screen in a certain way
Mm-hmm.
that there's not much you can do about.
Mhm.
Especially some of the levels were definitely designed with just one direction in mind because uh, if you're backtracking through a part of the level, there will be, like, you'll drop down and you can't see what's below you, but you know there's a platform there and you'll drop straight onto an enemy,
Mhm.
which wouldn't be a problem when you were climbing from the bottom of the room.
Yeah, this is one of those games where it doesn't let you scroll the screen.
hmm In the ice area, there's actually, with slidey ice slopes,
Mm,
sometimes there's an enemy directly at the bottom of the slope. If you slide down it, like going from right to left, you'll just land right on the enemy and take 6 points of damage.
yeah, those wolves did a lot of damage too.
Yeah. Like they did more damage than almost anything else in the game, and like it was a
Mm-hmm.
huge increase in damage.
I think only the final boss did more damage with certain things.
Final boss was like the only boss
There,
that used an actual recovery potion.
it was the only boss that was challenging, I think. And the other bosses weren't terrible always, but we'll get to it when it comes up in gameplay. Because some of them are very simple.
Yeah. It was nice that they're all kind of set up like a Zelda boss, for me at least. Like, okay, you have an item that you have to use.
Yeah.
I mean, this boss isn't anything special, but it's
No.
fine, you know?
Yeah. It's a thing that ensures that you know how to use the gun.
hmm
Like ultimately, bosses are supposed to be like the final
Tutors.
exam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't even have to use the gun to damage the boss. It's probably more efficient to jump and whip. Because if you can get 2 whips in, I think you're doing 6 damage here. So 12 damage is more than however many shots you would have gotten out.
Yeah, that's probably true.
And then if you use the damage consumable, it's even better.
I don't think I ever actually wound up doing that, which I should have.
I used damage consumables on bosses, but it did make them go by even faster, which I don't know if that was a good thing. Since, well, if a boss isn't very engaging to begin with, and you kill it in 15 seconds instead of 25 seconds because you use the damage up, you're not really losing out on much.
Yeah.
Damage up, the super monster milk comes from the big titty creatures usually.
I didn't notice that.
I did!
You
I
would.
killed one of the, I think it was one of the mermaids. And they dropped monster milk, and I'm like, really? Why?
Oh, yeah, I remember the like super monster milk is from those like scorpion women.
Yup! Yup! Uh-huh! Yeah?
They are super.
They got something else that's super, that's for sure.
Yeah, this game has some weird side questing. Some of the side quests being things that you do within the biome, and some requiring you to go back to previous areas or do some previous thing you forgot to do. Like if you didn't go into the sewer and get that oil, you would need to get that later to progress.
Right.
So I don't know if they're really side quests, if they're... I mean, do you call them side quests if they're mandatory items?
I'd still call it a main quest.
Branching quests.
If you have like the ridiculous Zelda swap quest, is that a side quest chain?
If it's if it
Mandatory,
is,
no.
yeah. So some of the games it is mandatory, and then most of them it isn't. So the parts of it that you have to do to complete the game are main quest.
Yeah, those floating ghost enemies were pretty annoying, as well as sometimes they could appear inside of a wall and then just move out of the wall when you're next to it.
Yeah.
Or you're jumping up to a platform and they just appear where you're jumping to.
This was
Right.
one of the worst parts of the whole.
It's
But the music
very
was
different.
Music
fun.
was fucking amazing. Okay. Side note about the music. It's composed by Jake Kaufman. Of course it's gonna be fucking amazing. That guy is a god in the music industry. However, this whole thing that you have to do can go suck a cock, because it sucked.
It was pretty overly long and annoying. A lot of it is just waiting for the thing in front of you to disappear so
Yeah.
that you can walk forward. And it doesn't really carry with it a sense of momentum at all like it should be.
Right.
Like you can
Yeah,
see even in the sped up footage, you're just standing there, you know, hopping between your feet as you wait for things to happen.
Yeah.
yeah, you could see at the very beginning that I was just trying to like rush through and like make it through, but
It's
You
what the
can-
game
like
wants. It's
Yeah.
what
yeah,
the game feels like it wants you to do.
it's kind of like the moving platforms things we were complaining about
Yeah.
before, where it's like it's specifically designed where you have to wait.
Oh, one of my biggest complaints in this entire game, you can drop through some of the platforms and not through others.
Yeah, and it's not obvious which ones they are.
It's so awful. Don't understand it. Because they'll have like platforms in a dungeon or something, and it's designed so that you go around and enter through a different room, and then the platforms serve as a one-way exit from that room.
Mhm.
And I guess they realized, well, if people can just drop through the platforms, we can't use them in this way. So some platforms you can drop through, and then most of them you can't.
Yeah. San Frisco said this section went on for way too long. Yup. Yeah.
Well, I think it would have been fine with the length that it is if they just timed everything so that you could rush it.
Yeah. That'd have helped a lot. And they didn't, though. Oh, there's still a cat down there.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe the point was supposed to be that you're trying to hurry to do something, but then every single obstacle requires you to stand still.
She does have
It,
that I need a pee dance thing going the
yeah.
whole time.
It almost feels intentional, but it doesn't really doesn't really excuse it. It's just annoying. Yeah, so the overall layout of the biomes can be kind of interesting. You have the lead up, which is linear, usually linear horizontal hallway. Then you have some sort of hub sub dungeon area that you go to, and that usually doing that allows you to get to the actual Zelda dungeon, which is where the stuff you need is.
Yeah, it feels like some weird hybrid between Demon's Crest and Zelda. Like all the side quests feel very much like a Zelda game. Or I
Yeah.
guess we decided they weren't side quests. The quests that um are between areas.
Yeah. Filler quests.
Sure.
At least these the platforms in this game were synced.
Overall, I was gonna say earlier, I enjoy the humor more than I thought I would, I guess,
yeah,
and
it's
the
pretty good.
writing. I was expecting something that would be comparable to some of the art,
More
which
risque, you would say.
I was expecting. Yeah, kind of.
Oh,
I mean,
that's how you fucking get that one. Oh, what?
Were you missing one and it was that
No,
one?
I was missing a few, but that one was pissing me off because I didn't know how to get it. Oh, that's how you get it.
Now you can go back and get it.
I guess mostly it felt like it had the right amount of certain types of humor.
It had a charm.
It had like the meta humor character, but it was mostly just that character. Like it wasn't every character making meta jokes.
That was just
know?
the Dan guy, right, or whatever.
Squid
The-
Burn.
Cyclops. Or was it was just the
the
squid.
squid.
Squid boss. I love him. I actually do. This game actually did makes me want to go back and play the Game Boy Color game. Honestly.
Very first one.
Yep.
Is that one even available on PC? Like I have
Cauldrath.
Riskies or well.
Cauldrath.
I
This is
prefer
me
buying
we're
games if
talking
it's
about.
if there's an option to buy the game, I try to buy the game.
I will look it up quick, but I don't think there is, sadly. Shantae.
So yeah, I got Riskies Revenge. I didn't actually finish
No.
it though because
First
Yeah.
one is the only one not available. No. Yeah, fiddle-dee-dee.
We should as we acquire upgrades in this footage, we should discuss them.
Okay, we got the pistol and we got the hat.
Wait, the pistol probably the weakest out of the upgrades.
But it's
not
gun.
particularly useful. I noticed you can't upgrade it. I tried upgrading it once. It made it go from 1 to 2 damage.
That's all it does
But-
for all of the
it did
upgrades.
double damage.
You can upgrade it further. I'm not sure if.
Yeah.
Either way, it wouldn't be worth using. It's just not.
It's a money sink,
You can do so
though.
much more damage with your whip attack. There's not really a point in trying to use it for combat, and there's only a few. It's not really used in interesting ways. Otherwise, all you're doing is hitting a couple of switches through narrow passages,
But it's a gun,
or
Master.
maybe shooting a block.
You're American and you're talking about this to a gun. I can't believe you right now, man.
We want guns to be good.
Yeah. I have such high
I'm
standards.
sorry
for
she
them,
doesn't
but
have an AK-47. I am sorry.
Well, that's a Russian gun.
Well, I mean, a gun's a gun. At the end of the day, they're all American.
Even the Russian guns?
Even the Russian guns.
Alright.
Just trust me on this. I'm a gun expert, obviously.
Oh, okay.
I think the game had about the right amounts of those kind of mini encounters.
Yeah,
I didn't
the
feel too
mini-bosses.
annoyed that I had to fight those, and there were usually some new enemies or something.
Yeah. The hat I actually really enjoyed, because if you couldn't just reach a platform, you could always just use the hat and it would give you a small little boost.
I don't like that the platforms were just out of reach in the first place. Like, it looks like you should be jumping on the platform,
I agree.
and most of your body's above the platform, but then you can't jump onto it.
I completely
that, to
agree,
me,
however.
I don't
You
think there's
could
anywhere that's mandatory, though.
You could say that the hat it's a subtle additional use for it, and that those platforms are placed in that way intentionally. But whether that's true or not, it annoyed me, I guess, personally, that there were platforms I couldn't quite jump onto.
This annoyed me personally, and I'm gonna take my hate out on this game. Which I don't blame you.
I mean,
it
I'm
was
not
annoying.
sure if I'd call it a flaw, because it's not really a flaw, it's just...
A weird design choice.
Yeah.
Does it bug you that there's something that should be perfectly jumpable on, and then it's just 1 pixel out of reach?
Yeah, yeah.
No, that's fair.
well,
I feel that. I get that on
I
a
don't know,
personal
is
level.
that bad design? It's poor conveyance, I guess. it's not satisfying that you can't reach that platform.
I mean, you can
When you
reach it with the hat.
Well,
Yeah.
sure. Like if you have a double jump gate, it's like clear. Oh, there's no way I can make this jump. Instead of oh, if I time it perfectly, I'm just a pixel off of making this jump.
Maybe I just have to time it a little bit better.
That sounds like you need to get good.
I think there was like one jump. I don't remember where it was, but it required weirdly precise timing compared to all the other jumps in the game. And at first, I wasn't sure if I was supposed to be able to make it.
Is this before or after the hat?
I think it was before the hat. Actually, it might have been in that last dungeon. I don't know. Or I might have been trying to do some. Maybe I was trying to do some side stuff, and you didn't really need the hat, but you probably would have found it with the hat. Going back later.
Yeah, maybe.
This scorpion type of enemy was a little strange to fight.
Yeah, I forgot how to fight them that time, so I just like charged through.
I just ignored enemies when possible. It's not all you gain a small amount of money, or you gain consumables from killing enemies, and I didn't really use consumables, so wasn't really an incentive to kill everything.
There was a thing with like one of the interesting things is the mayor like constantly wants food and will give you money for the food, but he changes what he will buy throughout
Yeah.
the game.
At one point,
Fucking
he
greedy
asked
ass
for a
mayor.
certain thing, so I went exploring and then got enough of the certain thing. I did that area. I came back and he wanted something else that I was one short of.
Yep, he's a fucking greedy little shit. He's an asshole.
Sold the town for chocolates.
Sold the town for fucking bonbons. This is the guy we have in charge? You know, I'm not saying the ammo baron's any better, but I understand why he did what he did.
He just wants cannons.
You know
so
what?
that he can
Cannons in the
defend it.
senior home is probably better than fucking selling the town for bonbons. At least it's, you know, taken care of? Like, the ammo baron's not gonna sell your town for a fucking thing of bonbons. He's got cannons in the senior homes. They're protected. The children are protected. The preschool is now a munitions depot. We're fine. We're safe. Now with the mayor.
Yeah, I think there was a bit of a running gag of specifically characters would mention the like tearing down of the school or the elderly home or whatever.
It was right away. He's like, time to turn the preschool into like an ammo depot, and I'm like, this guy gets me on a spiritual level.
A couple of other characters like mentioned the same thing. If you talk to all the random NPCs between completing each area, they generally have different dialogue.
I talked to him every time, and it was great.
Yeah, it's a nice touch.
It is.
Yeah. Some of the NPCs just had some really weird lines.
Oh yeah.
Like the woman next to the bathhouse, one of her lines was just, "Sometimes I drink the bathwater."
I know, and I'm like, oh girl, no. Also, I love Joe.
Is it Game of Girl bathwater though?
No.
Joe's a bro.
Yeah, I like Joe. Again, I was pleasantly surprised by the writing in this game. And does it mean to say that I expected really bad writing from this game?
No, that's fair. For the vibe it gets, I can understand where you're coming from. But the Joe part like... where the dad literally just fucking kills another boyfriend gets me every time.
It's not like this is like a deep, meaningful game, but it's not trying to be. So.
No, it doesn't take itself seriously. It knows that, and it works very much in its favor.
Yeah.
Sure. It's also not. Oh god, this is approaching such a big tangent, but it's like Marvel movies have that thing where they just insert random jokes into their like
during a
otherwise
super
intense
serious
scenes,
scene,
right?
yep.
But
I love that.
Yeah, this game doesn't. do that.
Oh,
The humor, I mean, yeah. There's a separation there between the important things and the not
yeah.
important things, which makes me happy because I really don't like the Marvel
Oh no, not this
way
bit
of
of the
doing
game.
it.
What do you mean you don't like the Princess Leia fan service with every single one of the girls? I don't understand why you wouldn't.
I wasn't even talking about this yet, but
No, someone
now
in the
that
comments did.
we're here, man, I really did not like this section.
Yeah. No, San Frisco said, "Oh no, not this bit of the game." That's what
It
I was
wasn't
replying
very
to.
fun to play to
But
begin with,
yeah,
but also, yeah, I really didn't like the vibes, you could say.
Okay,
there's
not
also a
gonna lie,
conveyance problem here.
I
Like,
hate.
I came into this room and I was like, I have no idea what I'm supposed to do, and it's like, oh, I have to go run into that arch where
I mean,
it'll
it
be
gives
fine.
you plenty of time to just find that out for yourself. If you enter the room at all, you'll discover that.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was that bad.
I will say one thing I did like, not her outfit, but her color scheme of the outfit it works really well for her. Like, the
Eh.
blue looks fucking great. The gold, I'm not a fan of gold, but it looks good. A
I just
better
don't like
outfit, it would
looking
look fucking terrific.
at it.
Hey man, I like my pixels. And that blue is a gorgeous blue.
And then, of course, at the end of this segment, you discover nothing you actually did mattered because just as you
Yeah.
gather everyone, the real queen comes
And ain't she a
back.
queen?
She's a princess, jeez.
You know what I mean by that. Shut up. How dare you! This part did
Yeah,
take me a while, and it did kind of suck.
a little annoying to play, and the art was that's if there's a line they crossed it for me.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
So there is a line.
Princess Leia. Or Shantae dressed up as Princess Leia. Oh,
Yeah,
that
just
was
like,
one thing I really hope they didn't do is that when you got thrown back in, they would lock the door. Excuse me, lock the
yeah,
door again. So glad
they are
they
not
didn't.
very good guards.
No, thank God they suck at their jobs. Great for us, terrible for everyone else who lives there.
I mean, who else is gonna be able to deftly parkour around these enemies?
This is true. Ammo
Not
Baron.
these guards.
Ammo Baron got us.
Isn't
Oh, I
stand the
thought you
chance.
were gonna say Ammo Baron can parkour around.
Oh yeah, he
Plus,
could. I'm sure he
these
could.
are just the guards patrolling the halls. These aren't like there's lots of guards in the main entrance.
Also, you
Can't
kill
get out of
them.
there.
You kill those women. I hope you understand.
You do just kill them. It's
They
kind of weird.
explode. You whip them so hard with your hair, they fucking explode. And did you think about that? No, you only think about yourself.
They shouldn't have attacked me.
Oh,
Just self-defense.
look at Roddy Top. She looks so happy.
Roddy Top is always happy.
I love Roddy Tops.
I did like the side characters in this game. I guess.
I guess.
They all have big boobs, so.
Well, not what was his name? The guy with the mustache.
The Joe?
Yeah, not
Fucking
Joe.
love Joe.
Maybe he had big boobs underneath his shirt. You don't know.
They do try to have character moments in this game, which is interesting. And I mean, the whole game is about exploring the relationship between the protagonist and former antagonist. But then you've
I get-
also got like the side thing with Roddy Tops and her soul. And it's not that they really executed it all that meaningfully, I guess. It wasn't bad.
Yeah, you were making it sound a lot deeper than it actually was.
Yeah, no, it wasn't deep at all, but like I mean it was there, it was fine There wasn't anything terrible about it, I guess. It's just, some games wouldn't bother to do that
Super loud.
characterization at all for side characters. Also, something else with side characters in this game is that I really feel like I was supposed to have played another game because I don't know who these people are. And they'll just like
Yeah.
reference things, and it's clear that it's a reference to something that I don't know.
Right.
I was in a previous game.
Like the characters having history is a good thing, but then yeah, especially the fact that the very first game isn't available on PC.
Mhm.
So they can't really. So I think that you like it's not really mandatory to have played the previous games, but you would get more for having done that.
Yeah. Those mantis enemies are awful, by the way. The hitbox on their projectile is like twice the size that it looks. Can't jump over it.
You know what that sounds like? You problem. You get.
You
No,
just kill
I
them
had the
before they can
same.
do anything.
Yeah,
It also
kill
does
him.
4 damage, which is like more than anything else
It's
in
a
this
heart.
part of the
It's a
game.
full fucking heart.
Yeah, they're bad enemies. This game does not have the best enemy design.
Yeah.
There are some weird hitboxes throughout the game. Nothing, like, the game doesn't expect all that much from you, so it's not a huge problem, I guess. And, even if it did require more from you than it does, you have all these consumables you're clearly meant to use.
Right.
But it's still a little disappointing that they didn't make a tighter experience.
The other thing that's disappointing is that all those breakable blocks, there's almost never anything behind them.
Just there's decor, I guess.
Alright,
Yeah,
so we
so
got the scimitar now.
it's fine. It's not my favorite upgrade. It's probably,
You didn't like the moon pogo?
I mean, it's okay. Prefer the glide.
So one of the
The
things that I noticed is that you're limited in the amount of times you can pogo with it in a single jump. There's actually a spot later where I try to get to an area before I'm actually supposed to be there by pogoing off of enemies, and it just doesn't let me.
Oof. Now that's an F in chat.
both the glide and the sword felt slightly awkward to use at times.
Yeah, I think that you're like locked in the sword animation too long, so it's hard to like chain with the glide.
Mm-hmm.
There's also, if you press glide too quickly, you kind of get it out of sync with your button presses. And it's a little weird because you're not sure if you're supposed to hold it down for it to start up again, or if you let go and then you hold it down again once the animation of the last glide is finished. If that makes sense.
I like this filler boss.
Yeah.
You let go of the button, and then you start putting it away, but you hold down the button again, and you're not sure if you should keep holding down the button or let go and re-hold it down once you're done putting it away.
So I noticed that this one says concerned parent, so I assume that in previous games it's been established that all the like squids that you like the heart squids are like
His children or whatever.
his children. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
feel
you
like
just
I think it's almost funnier if it's just the subtext that you're taking as children.
I
They'll
love this
actually
boss
mention it.
though. I love him so good.
Okay, I actually had a problem where I don't know if it was maybe I was hitting the side of him, but I would pogo off of him with the sword and it wouldn't break his shell.
huh.
I think
And
I had
this
that a
happened
couple
like
times.
several times.
I think you did have to hit almost right in the middle-ish. Which I'm gonna look him up. Shantae Squid Baron.
Well, he's like in every game.
Yeah, using pirate flares is the one consumable I did buy because I really didn't want to walk back through the long hallway of pain. Especially the dark area was terrible to walk back through.
Yeah,
It
so
was just a
he's-
really tedious area.
yeah, Pirate's Curse is a new species of warp squid. Oh, no, okay. So, in Risky's Revenge, he uses baby warp squids as weapons. So, in Risky's Revenge, he was a concerned parent, because he was actually throwing his kids at you to fight you.
And he was concerned about it. He's like, man, I shouldn't be doing this while he's throwing his kids at you.
Apparently not.
I like that you don't get like insanely more damage as you go through the game. I mean, you go from what, like 5 to 8 damage at max
Something
upgrade,
like
and yeah, you attack faster as well, but it doesn't. It's not exactly completely trivializing content, even though it's, some of it's not very hard to begin with. It
Yeah,
felt like a reasonable curve to have compared to, like, I don't know, Castlevania.
Yeah, a lot of enemies would like jump away from you if you hit them too many times in a row. So even with the attack speed upgrade, you were still limited in the amount of damage you could output.
It's enough to be impactful. Getting the damage up upgrade, even though it's, going from like 6 to 7. Enemy health is usually in such a way that having that one extra damage will kill certain enemies.
Yeah.
One hit instead of 2, or something like
Or
that.
if you get the Speed Boy too, and then you can whip them faster.
Well, yeah, but one-shotting enemies is more important than the speed, I think.
Not when it comes to bosses.
Well, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
just talking about.
No, I know, regular
Right,
enemies.
okay.
I'd rather... I mean, I upgraded both relatively, like I'd do power then speed, and I kept them pretty even.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this area was really annoying to walk through because you just have to stop and kill everything in front of you.
And they don't
Also,
allow for a charge either. They don't allow you to run.
enemies, I think enemies actually respawn like when you're in the same
Yep,
room if
they
you
do.
go too far off screen.
They do.
Yep.
So
I use that to
it's
my
just-
advantage to farm for items sometimes.
yeah, you can't clear them out, and it's annoying. Especially if you go all the way to the right and then you find out, oh no, I need a key item. I guess I'd better go all the way back to the left.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
that's
you could
what-
use the recall.
You can if you have pirate flares.
You always have pirate
Oh.
flares on you. Those were a godsend. I started using those roughly at this area, and I'm like, oh my god, great.
I
Why
agree.
wasn't I fucking using these?
Oh, did you not see that you had a pirate flare? This
I don't.
footage.
Oh, did I have one?
Yeah, you
I
had
never
one.
bought one, so
You
I
get
just-
some, I think, from drop.
Yeah, a couple enemies drop them.
Yeah.
Also, the zombie dude gives you one. This was like probably completely optional, but you can return the death mask after you're done with it, and then he gives you a flare.
Oh, weird. San Frisco said, agree, easily the worst island in the game for me. Most enemies are tedious, and the dungeon boss, oh god. I don't remember the boss, actually.
we'll see it eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
we'll get
actually
there.
really liked the dungeon. And I loved the music in the dungeon was the best music in the game for me, honestly. Not even lying. Or the Village of Lost Souls music was the best.
Yeah, it actually reminded me a bit of a certain biome in a certain game that's related to La Mulana 1.
Which one? Like, you can just post it in the group chat.
Well, I can't tell you, it's spoilers for a game
For
you
La
haven't
Mulana
played
1?
yet. No, a game that's related to La Mulana 1.
What game is related to La Mulana 1?
Maze of Gallius, which you also haven't played.
La Mulana 2!
Oh, well, I've listened to all the
oh,
music
that
in
other
La
game that you
Mulana
haven't
2.
beaten.
I've already... Dude, I'm not gonna play La Mulana 2. We've been over this. I listened to the whole soundtrack already.
doesn't mean I should randomly spoil you.
Just give me the song. Is it the Valhalla
Why, I
one?
meant more of the look and feel of the area instead of just like, oh,
Oh.
this music sounds similar in this certain way.
Master, I'm never gonna play Lava
Also,
Lana
you got
2,
monster
my
milk
guy.
from those rats. You said monster milk was only from the...
No, I didn't say only. I
Atcero.
said they drop from the
Yeah.
big tittied monster girls though a lot.
Actually not sure how the
Sorry,
drops...
female.
Oh yeah, you just... Super monster milk just appeared.
Yep, from the big scorpion girl.
I do wonder how the drops are, like, do certain enemy types drop certain
Yep.
items? Because it seemed kind of random at times.
No, I think they each have 2 they can drop.
I don't think this game had a bestiary,
No.
which would have been nice.
It would have been great if they had that, because you could also have,
Hey, this room's terrible because there's like,
background
how do
stuff.
you get out of here?
You obviously
the
get
same
out
way
the
you
same
came
way
in.
you came in, yeah.
What was
Yeah,
the
I
problem?
tried to, but like, there was no marker for where the exact entrance was, so.
You know, Cauldrath, that sounds like a skill issue. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, that room's weird. That room doesn't... I don't think that room appears on the map.
Which one?
And it's in, like, when you enter it, your map... Like, you open your map and nothing's on the map, which is really weird. Because for all the other secret rooms, they do appear on the map.
Huh.
It's a shame we can't listen to the music.
I'm sorry, it would burn our
Speed.
ears.
Yeah,
The music was good.
No, it was good, but when it's sped up like this.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course. I didn't think it was... I wouldn't say it's as good as maybe some other soundtracks I've listened to. But it's...
But it's Jake
You know, it's
Kaufman.
good. It's memorable, also. I liked the bass in a lot of the songs.
so is music really good if it doesn't sound good at 4 times speed? Because there were other games that I played at 4 times speed that you're like, oh yeah, this is fine.
No, well, I got complaints from other people. Like, there was one time we did it, and it's like, oh, please turn off the music, I can't hear it. And then it's like, played it, and it's like, oh yeah, this sounds terrible. Because at a certain point, it becomes just literal bits of compression, and it doesn't, it just hurts.
Isn't that what I said the very first time?
Yeah, but you're also factoring in, like, whip noises, and enemy noises, and then, like, jumping, and all the other sound effects. And that compiled on top of the music. Just, yeah, no.
All
At
you
4
need to do
times
is
speed.
all you need to do is edit the footage so that it plays the
Ugh.
music at normal speed, and it changes every time you switch areas.
Ah, yes. That, that will
Not
be
very
quite
much
easy to do.
This area's fetch quest was weird. And I didn't really understand what they were going for with the heads or tails game.
Yeah, isn't there supposed to be some way to cheat at it?
I guessed, and I
I'm-
got it on, like, my second or third try. And I completely guessed.
Yeah, I think there's supposed to... Like, I feel like the first time I played this, I found a way to cheat it. But this time I just brute forced it.
I'm not sure if it's actually random lock or if it just you'll get it after so many attempts.
It's only like a 1 in 8 chance that you need.
If you keep guessing the same thing, you gotta be right eventually.
It might be that they randomize it, but if you fail too many times, they just give it to you. Either way, it didn't really... It wasn't satisfying to do in any way. Kinda weird.
Oh yeah, there's some secret areas that you find where all there is some money hidden like in pots and it's not a lot.
Oh, That reminds me, this game's a little weird with some of the secrets obscured by the foreground. Because the camera, if you're near the edge of the screen, the camera will stop moving with you. And
Yep.
since you're behind foreground, you can't actually see where you are. So it's not always clear if you're moving forward in like a secret area or if you've reached the end of it.
Yeah. You fool!
You fool! Foolish samurai! It's weird saying human risky. Or not risky, Roddy Tops.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh,
I
it's like
think
really obvious that it's her just because her
The
movement.
sprite animation! I'm
exact
looking at it
sprite
and I'm like, did they
animation.
reuse... Did they use Roddy Top's sprite animation?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just a palette swap.
Yeah, it is. And then this guy.
It's an interesting idea, I guess.
Huh.
The floating skull guys in this area were very annoying.
You mean Death's little Death Boys?
Especially the room right before the fire pit room. If you just rush in, it's timed so that they'll hit you, and there's no way to really
Yep.
avoid them if you just jump up the thing.
Yeah, Death is annoying in whatever game he appears in. If he appears as an enemy, he's a fucking asshole. If he appears as a boss, he's a fucking asshole.
I don't know. I mean, death boss fights are fun in Castlevania.
Not in the Card Chronicles.
Spoilers.
There's always a death fight in any Castlevania game, including fan ones. I'm sorry, I don't make the rules. Gosh. But he sucks. I only won due to luck because in the Card Chronicles, he has it programmed where sometimes if a boss summons an enemy, that enemy can summon a Rosario, you know, the thing that clears all enemies from the screen.
Oh.
So
You cheesed it.
I got lucky because it's only a chance. It's not always guaranteed. And it happened to me 2 bosses in that whole entire game. I'm like, okay, I'll take that. Yeah, death
Doesn't sound very satisfying to
Oh,
me.
it's there's a point in which bosses get to a point where it's like, do I really want to deal with this? No, I really don't. And then the Rosario drops and I'm like, hey, I'll take this.
As long as it's like a well-designed boss and not, you know.
No, he was
Terrible.
cheap with some of it.
I messed around in that room with the switches and the cages. I messed around a lot trying to get them to all line up in the middle row. But it turns out you need the button that's on the other
Yeah.
side to actually line them up. It was kind of... I was hoping maybe it would function as a sequence break or something, even if you were meant to come around from the other side. But I did not do that,
That is like the closest thing to a puzzle in the entire game.
I guess.
I somehow got them all lined up for everything I needed to.
See that we finally have the charge attack. And I really like the charge attack in this game.
And it's basically just the speed booster, which is the best power up that's ever been put in a Metroidvania.
Well, I
you know
agree
what?
with
I
that.
disagree. The
Speed
best for
booster's
me
great.
is so far a triple jump.
Like in this one?
No, the Card Chronicles has a triple jump you can get. My god, it is great.
So does this game.
But this, yeah, and not only that, but it shoots downwards.
Triple jump? Oh, yeah, that's true, it did. That was weird. That was weird getting it.
I almost feel like we need to talk about the speed boost charge attack in this game and just like the little things that it does right. Because you can't really tell in the 4 times speed.
I do like how when you're doing it, it gives you an audio sense too. It's not just like...
After running for a certain amount of time, you have the audio and visual cue for doing it, which is very
obvious.
And yeah, it's nice that you can also just ignore it if you didn't want to use it.
Yeah. But and when you pair it with like the Gale later on, you will have to do it. Not the Gale, the hat. It's very satisfying. It is just a very good feeling to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
mean,
feel like with just the speed booster, Super Metroid did it better, but this one lets you actually combine it with more things.
yeah. I'm glad you also are a speed booster fan because I never hear people talk about the speed booster.
It's kind of
People are
lame in my
always on
opinion.
about their double jumps and all that.
For me, it goes too fat. Like, the speed booster is nice in certain areas, but it's not as versatile for me, at least, as a jump is, or a double jump. And if I could have a superpower between a double jump or a speed boost, oh, okay, speed boost actually might be more
I mean,
viable.
it lets you
But
do bullshit levels of hard shine sparks,
I don't,
shine spark
I,
item, so
but I don't shine spark. So
you can't really make an engaging singular. Well, I don't know about engaging, but you can't really have a single hidden item that's hard to reach, and you do it with a double jump,
yeah,
and
but
it's a double
see,
jump.
I don't shine spark. So
Well, that's like the best part of it, is that like you can basically generate a puzzle that spans multiple rooms, where like something might normally be irrelevant, but because it's allowing you to get speed for the speed booster, it becomes relevant.
Yeah, it
see,
makes
I
you
don't
think
like
a lot
that.
about the space of the levels that you're in. I mean, both with generating room to get the speed booster up and the shine sparking opportunity, considering the angles that you can reach from where you are in the room.
Yeah, personally, I really don't like that kind of stuff. I'd rather do a boss rush than do that.
You mean like collecting
Like, I would rather do a
optional
gauntlet
items?
of enemies than do a shine spark puzzle.
Okay,
I like stabbing, not running.
neat.
It combines two things that I like: you going fast and solving puzzles.
Mhm.
Let's
I
play
mean,
a
you get
Sonic game.
to
There's no puzzles in Sonic, and the going fast sucks in Sonic.
Damn.
going fast in Metroid. I mean, it's very situational, and if you actually have good level design like Super Metroid does, then you're already able to kind of limit where it's being used. You you can probably write on the map like where people can speed boost and shine spark, and it would make sense in that you can access all of the map by grabbing shine sparks from different stretches of platform. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I feel like that's something that this game didn't really take advantage of, though. Like, it doesn't
No,
have shine sparking, but it also didn't feel like you had to figure out how to build up speed anywhere.
no, you didn't. It did have a few annoying places where you just barely have enough time to build up speed, and then you have to press the active button, which separates this game from the
Yeah,
speed booster, and you have a short window of opportunity to press it before you fail and have to retry.
yeah, I guess that could lend itself well to like having a puzzle where you try to figure out where exactly you have to start from, but it feels like it's just like more of a chore where like you have to space it exactly. Like
Mhm.
there was that part with the switches where I was like trying to time it so that I started the dash after the switch but before the block, which was probably not necessary, but yeah.
Yeah, also just the dash is satisfying to use when you emit a scream as it starts, and you have a very
Oh,
dramatic face.
Yeah.
And then if you hit enemies, every time you hit an enemy, the damage goes up by 1, and the sound effect gets a little bit higher pitched for hitting that enemy.
It feels a
So
little like when you get a star in Mario.
yeah, so it's satisfying to just use it to plow through the enemies you're trying to skip as you're going through those horizontal stretches so often found at the start of levels.
Mhm.
And then you have the fact that you're actually incentivized and rewarded for hitting walls with it, because that will often cause stuff to drop from the sky.
Oh yeah.
Though there's one instance where it actually causes one of the magic bats to drop from the sky, which didn't really make sense and wasn't obvious.
Yeah. I think I might have found that one in this playthrough just on accident, but yeah, there's no way it marks where you need to like charge into walls. So I guess theoretically you just have to charge into every single one of them.
Yeah, not the best decision there.
Mhm. Oh yeah, we never talked about the dragon boss.
I
Um,
think it's really funny that his name is Dagron, and he also looks like he's misspelled. Like he's kind of disfigured,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
goofy dragon.
that part was pretty funny, right there with Joe.
We all like Joe.
But Joe won't marry you. You can't tie down Joe. Too many fish in the sea, and he wants them all.
I guess
Joe
with
wants to fish
the
every fish in the sea.
characterization, I mean they wanted to do something that like children would clearly understand because everyone kind of just states their feelings to you. You're like, wow.
Do you think that the target demographic is children for this game?
I mean, I don't know. It's a good question. Yeah, I mean, I didn't feel like the characters were terrible, I guess. Despite that, it's kind of a weird opinion to describe. Don't you love those wolves that do 6 damage?
Yeah, no, I lost a bunch of progress because of that. I'm like, oh, I just healed. I'm probably fine. And did not heal enough to tank another hit. But at least I knew where I was going afterwards.
Unfortunately, the bosses in this game are mostly, I mean, they're kind of just Zelda bosses in that they have one weakness that you continually exploit until they're dead. But they don't really have a variety of moves or anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of liked the Dagron boss because you had to kind of think about where you position yourself in order to beat him without getting hit. Like, I guess his patterns weren't immediately obvious, and that made it more interesting than some of the other bosses. Because he'll swoop down from the side of the arena, and he can do a few different attacks. Some of them involve destroying platforms that you could be standing on.
True. Well, I felt like it was a bit like even more obvious what you're supposed to do, like with the mechanics. Like use the new item in
Yeah,
this way, and it
it's
was
Zelda rules.
Well,
Use
yeah,
the new
yeah,
I
item.
mean, it's
yeah,
clear that you're
but
supposed to do that, but it's if you stand on the wrong, if you stand on like one of the side platforms and he does an attack, he might just hit you right away.
No, he was a poorly designed boss in terms of hitboxes. Cause yeah, I got hit a lot on him.
Yeah.
or maybe you just need to get good.
I mean, I beat the game before either of you in this playthrough, at least. So I mean,
How long was your
Because
playthrough?
you
I
started
don't
it
know.
way beforehand.
I know. I
Like a
actually
week
did it on
before.
time this time. Get wrecked.
Oh yeah, so a random thing that kind of bothers me. Why are Shantae's eyes cyan?
Shantae?
on the sprite?
I believe it was due to the original was also cyan to kind of draw attention to her design. There's a few other NPCs, if you notice, that also have the cyan eyes. I
Yeah.
think it's harkening back to the Game Boy Color. Let me check.
Maybe
Shantae sprites.
Oh yeah, the trial and error area where you just check every single direction until you
gave up.
find the right one.
Yeah, in the original, she had the cyan eyes as well.
Yeah, it just looking like you see the character portrait art, whatever you call it, and then you see the sprite, and
Yeah.
it annoys me that they're different, you know.
I didn't even notice.
Well, also, I mean, the character sprites, the outfits sometimes look different.
Yeah. I really like her Seven Sirens design. That's fucking cute. I think that's my favorite her design of her.
Is it because she's an A cup?
No, it's just the spikiness. The more jagged nature of her design is really good.
Looking it up now, I agree. That's
Isn't she
a
just
lot better.
Yeah, I just like it's more anime, yes, but it's a lot more stylized anime, I believe, in the right direction. She just has more of a sharp edge to her that I like.
And it makes sense
It does make
for
sense.
her character.
Even if she is an A cup, we still love her. I don't want to play Seven Sirens, but it doesn't have Jake Kaufman as a composer.
I honestly didn't like Seven Sirens a lot. Like, there were a lot of the bosses that I know hit on the first try.
No.
And you also get like a healing spell that just like continuously heals you like for a pretty decent chunk. So it's basically impossible to die. And then you also had consumables on top of that.
Do you eventually end up getting this squid?
Yes.
5 hours later.
This game generally has, there it is. This game has cute animations, and everything bobs along to the beat of the music.
Yeah, she's a dancer.
She is,
So.
though she doesn't do dancing in this game.
Yeah, she
Really.
does.
So
When you
when you
hold
do-
it
Much
up,
of
you
it.
can, if you hold left or right, you can trigger her to do one of her original dance animations when she's holding up the genie lamp. I did it for every single dark magic I picked up. I made sure she was doing the dance for it.
Oh, okay. How many are there?
Just
Or
the
you mean
one.
they're just
In the
like there's the two
original,
alternate?
there's one alternate. So,
I think
Right.
it just randomly does them if you don't pick one.
yeah.
That's what
Because there
I.
used to be the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them, I think. Because there's the up, down,
One
left,
for each
right.
transform.
A, B, I believe were all of them. And maybe the triggers. Here, let me look up the video. I watched a video.
It is interesting, I guess, considering that this is a Shantae game where you don't have your powers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Instead of
1,
this other stuff.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well,
Oh, and-
technically neutral doesn't count, so 6.
Yeah, so in Seven Sirens, she she does have her transformation powers, but you do that by like doing a single button press, and it's like, okay, I did a dash, and then as part of the dash she transforms,
Oh.
or when you do like a double jump, she
That's kinda
transforms
lame.
as part of the double jump. I actually like that a lot because like you do get like a slightly different move set for some other aspects when you do that.
I really like the Game Boy Color ones, because for how limited they are, they fucking... Because this was one of the last games I believe released on the Game Boy Color, so they're very well fucking done. These animations are insane. Like, it's insane how detailed these are for being Game Boy Color sprites.
Yeah, so this is the area where I'm trying to use the pogo, but like as soon as I do the pogo on the second one, it doesn't pogo.
I tried to do the same thing. I'm so glad.
And I'm like, oh, I must be doing it slightly wrong. I have to like use the hat at just the right time. No, you just have to come back with the triple jump or quadruple jump. I think it is.
No, triple jump, I thought.
It's a quadruple jump.
Is it
It's
quadruple?
just the upgrade adds 3 jumps.
Oh, well, yeah, technically. That's true. That's fair.
But since you're kind of like you're using a tool for jumping, it's okay to you fire the cannon 3 times, so it's kind of could also consider it to be a triple jump. Just that's a triple jump that's on top of your regular jump.
Yeah,
It's semantic.
we love our semantics here, though.
Double jump would be a nice ability to have in life. If you could jump as high as a regular Metroidvania pro tag.
Well,
It's
first,
like, oh, I jumped up like 2 feet twice. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
first
like
you
to
need the
6
ability.
feet.
First, you need the ability to jump as high as
You
a
can do that. You could
Metroidvania
train
protagonist.
yourself. I'm not going to because I'm lazy, but you could.
I don't. I
When they
mean,
do
that
those,
depends on the game.
No,
when they do those high jumps, they like also shift their center of gravity upwards, so that you can't just do like a regular standing high jump that's 6 feet high, and then like keep your feet below you the whole time.
yeah. So it looks like the highest standing jump was 5 feet. So let's just say you get an upgrade in real life to jump, let's say, roughly 6 to 7 feet in general. Like, that's taller than me. I could jump higher than my own height by a good foot. At the very minimum. I could jump higher than some, actually quite a few of my friends at that point, too. That would be fucking badass. Now add that with a double jump where you can jump roughly 12 to 14 feet. That'd be pretty sick.
Most Metroidvania protagonists are jumping like twice their height.
So alright, like, so let's say for the first jump, then you can jump roughly, let's say, 10 feet. 20 feet would be your max for a double jump. That's fucking badass.
Yeah, but at some point, like, if you can jump 10 feet straight up, that's probably enough to do whatever you need to do.
That's already an ability.
Yeah.
But imagine if you also had a triple jump.
Or a quadruple jump.
What if you had a cannon you could strap to your fucking stomach and launch yourself up with it being safe?
Like, just the fact that she can reload the cannon that fast is a superpower.
Risky's cannon is just magical. Blessed by the genies.
Not sure.
Or it's actually originally the Pirate Master's stuff, isn't it? And he was supposed to be like as powerful as all of the like full genies combined.
Yeah. Let's see, parts.
I never tried the power kick optional upgrade. How was that?
Either.
I got it and then I completely forgot I had it. I never actually used it on an enemy.
I never found any use. I never felt like I needed to use the backdash. But I bought that and I bought the recover thing, which is actually very useful.
Yeah.
Because getting knocked down and then getting knocked inside of another enemy is kind of bad.
Well, for me it was usually get knocked down, fall into a pit.
That too. And being able to recover from that is...
Oh god, I forgot Risky.
Very useful optional ability.
God, I love this man.
At some point, people aren't gonna get the reference, though.
Yeah, because children are frickin', little shits, and they have no culture, and they need to get culture, like the old 80s cartoons that just pandered for selling merchandise. Like the good old days.
What great culture.
What great culture.
Isn't that what kids' cartoons are always for, like, including now?
No. There are a lot that are made for heart and stuff now, which is nice. I like it.
I just noticed the cute little face on their hats.
Oh, the little...
They all have cute
Oh,
faces on
yeah.
their
Yeah.
hats.
Also, I forgot, Risky is fucking wearing the Pirate Lord's face. I always
Yep.
forget that, yep.
Like that's kind of weird.
A little.
And like she keeps wearing it like in other games.
Define face.
Literally, the top part, the bra, is his upper part of his head, his skull.
Yeah.
The part that covers her woman parts is the lower jaw.
Yeah, a little weird. This game was a bit weird with some of its platforming obstacles. Like, so earlier on there were the falling ceiling tiles, but they took so long to fall, and they were usually placed in places where you would just be continuing on your way, and there's no chance that you'd ever get hit by one, because there'd be no reason to stand still underneath that tile for like 3 seconds for it to fall on you.
Yeah.
Then some of the jumpy pit dudes were just in random pits that had, you could just jump over them like there's no reason for them to be there.
Right.
Overall, just feels like there's a lack of, I don't know, lack of polish maybe, and a lot of the moment-to-moment gameplay when you're considering how obstacles interact with the level design.
Well, it seems like that's not always consistently that way. Like maybe different teams worked on different levels and some of them just didn't do a good job of it.
Maybe.
That's your butt. Upstairs. I'm petting my
There
cat.
are, yeah, a little weird. That's all I have to say about that.
So the key that I got to get in this room was in a secret area, which I generally don't like having progress blocking things in secret areas.
I mean, it's a Zelda dungeon. That's the same kind of... Well, are you talking about when the chest was inside of the wall?
Yeah.
I mean, you could clearly see that being visible, though. And chests always, in this game, have, like, progression items in them, keys or something else that's important. Like, you don't get the cute little parts in chests. You just see them there.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't really consider it a problem. You know that you need to get to that chest. And it's not like it's just completely hidden from view. It's in a pretty obvious spot. This boss was kind of weird.
You had to kind of
And
like guess.
I like the idea. I like the idea. It's just a really boring boss, and yeah, it is just guessing. But I think, because you haven't been using the jump in an offensive way, really. I mean, you could have been, but
Yeah, I guess this is like, hey, by the way, remember that it is a cannon.
yeah.
Yeah. The only other game that I can think of where the double jump or slash quadruple jump is downwards attack was Toya Luna Knights, where you would throw a dagger whenever you did it.
Yeah, the jump. Once you get that, you can get through all of the horizontal areas very quickly,
Mm-hmm.
and that was fun. I mean, it's not the same as getting a like in a game with more, I don't know what the word would be, but just like better level design. It'd be a lot more satisfying to quickly go through an area that you've become familiar with that feels like an actual part of the world instead of just a horizontal series of rooms.
Yeah.
So I do think in that regard this game is held back a bit by its level design. It could have been better.
Well, I think part of it is that it's limited by the crest-like thing, because it can't
Yeah.
like have a lot of interconnections between levels.
What is a crest like, I wonder?
I don't know. You tell me.
I'm so glad you asked! Should I actually read out the definition?
Sure.
Crest-like, or crest-like with a hyphen, is a term coined by Cauldrath on the MV server to differentiate the slight differences that it has to Metroidvania. I have since adopted it because he is absolutely right, and it's a great term for the genre. Now, what is a crest-like and what makes it different than an MV? Well, let me give you some backstory. Back in the wild west days of gaming, also, God, how long ago? I wrote this a fucking year ago. God, my humor is still great. Back in the wild west days of gaming, also known as 1994, Capcom released a game called Demon's Crest for the SNES. This game was a sequel to the RPG NES game Gargoyle's Quest 2, but quite a bit different. For one, it had an overworld hub where you could select stages to go through them. You could also get upgrades in some areas were ability gated, so you would have to run through again just to get more abilities to be able to progress later on. This would allow a true ending at the end if you collected all the crests and items. Essentially, the main difference is the map. One, you have a hub, or a world map that you would have to traverse, and it's all centralized. And then you would have levels you have to go through, or it's an actual MV. And this is a crest-like. 100%.
Yep.
But a damn good one. We need more. Oh, wait, right. But why does this matter? Aren't we furthering complicating the subdivisions of genres for other reasons than to keep and confound the nature of the glorious MV name? Yes. Just yes.
Crest-like is a good genre.
It is. Also, I like how people are like, Jedi Fallen Order isn't a crest-like. It's like, yeah, it is! that shit's speeding up so fast. Yeah, Cauldrath has it at 4 times speed. Oh no, bye Ash. I love you. Bye.
How fast I'm playing it? I'm speedrunning.
Yeah, see, what people don't understand is Cauldrath is actually the true speedrunner. His presence alone can make games go 4 times faster than what the original hardware even allows. I don't know how he does it. I think it's a trade secret.
I think it's Atcero.
I just shoved the Adderall right in the game.
Just shove it in the memory card slot, just take it. Take it!
Yeah, so this is going to the finale. Even though I'm playing this at 4 times speed, I still wanted to get this done within the hour and a half, so I did not collect all the dark magic. So this is the bad ending.
How dare
Well, I guess
you?
you can go collect the dark magic after this point and still get the good ending, but I don't.
Wow. I did.
Yeah, so the difference is, if you will allow me to spoil the ending,
Yes.
in the bad ending, the evil pirate master he leaves to spread his darkness about the land, and uh, the Risky Boots goes to stop her. She takes her pirate weapons back, even though they're cursed, knowing that while the curse may eventually consume her, she will make sure that the pirate master is defeated if it's the last thing that she does. And she kind of solemnly leaves, and you're like, wow, this person is uh, sacrificing themselves of sorts, even though it's not they haven't done it at the moment, but they're setting themselves on a path to do so. In the true ending, you collect all the magic, and it the pirate master notices that you've got this lamp full of magic, and he goes, "Ooh, I'd like some of that magic.
I'd like
If
your
you give me
magic.
that magic, I'll hand back over Risky Boots." And you do that because why wouldn't you? But it turns out you collected all the magic, and because it was your magic to begin with, the genie's magic, it turned into good magic somehow.
Magically.
So then you it says that you get your powers back, but you do the same exact stuff, except now all your damage numbers read 999. It's actually
Yeah.
kind of lame.
I kind of liked it. Yeah, it was lame, but you still kill him pretty fast.
They could have done anything else, and it would have been better than just upping the damage number.
I liked
But
the
all they did,
damage upping.
they
I'm
didn't even
sorry.
visually,
It
they didn't even change the character visually. It
it
was or give an
tickled.
aura. It was just the damage
It
number.
tickled my power creep fantasy. Thank you very much. How dare you?
And then I even tried using a monster milk, and it
It
still
did
just did
nothing. Yeah.
999 damage.
I
Yeah,
did the same.
just to
You are
see.
at damage cap already. It's like Final Fantasy. Once you get
Yeah.
to 9999, it doesn't go any higher.
So you do that, then you actually beat the pirate master, and also you get rid of the curse, and you've also saved Risky Boots. So then she's like, oh, I'm off to plot more and do more evil stuff in the next game. See you later, friend. And Shantae's like, wow, I'm glad that we're kind of friends even though we're enemies.
As I said in my
Enemies.
playthrough, they're 100% hate fucking on the side.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
they are.
like absolutely. Yeah, see, she doesn't have the skull the skull on her outfit anymore.
hmm
Yeah, that's because it was his mouth.
Mhm.
I wonder why she would choose to wear
Cause fuck him,
someone's
that's
skull.
why.
Just, yeah, just to taunt him.
This boss fight was, I mean, it felt like a real boss fight,
Felt like a Castlevania
unlike.
boss fight where you had to learn.
hmm
Yeah, he actually does a significant amount of damage.
His yeah, he was. I mean, he's probably the best boss just because he's the only boss with like actual moves.
Well, this is the one that's not a Zelda boss. Like, you aren't actually required to do any, like, mechanical things.
There are times where he just sits there for a really long time. Like if he does that beam attack,
And it's not going to hit you while you're on the ground. You just
yeah,
spam.
you just get
Yeah.
a ridiculous amount of damage in, and that's you get that once, and you like push on to the next phase.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in the bad ending, you don't have your magic back because you never turned all the dark magic into your good magic.
Yeah. Because it was all your magic at the end. But
Yeah.
it was just corrupted.
And, yeah, it's a true ending. Yay, magic again.
Woo!
So I
Magic!
guess that's the canonical one because you have your magic in the other games.
Yeah.
The next one is
I don't know
literally
what the
called Half
timeline is.
Genie Hero. So you kind of have to be a half genie for that one.
So yeah, that
Nice.
was Shantae and the Pirate's Curse.
Shantae.
Oh, the image that they had at the end with the lamp at the bottom of the ocean, I'm pretty sure that's a Metal Slug reference too. Pointing that out. I think it was Metal Slug 3. There's the ending sequence is you watching a gun slowly sink to the bottom of the ocean. And that being right next to the ammo baron visual references, that's the conclusion that I'm taking. Though it could also be a reference to the older games that I would not get. Do you have any closing thoughts about Shantae?
I mean, it made me want to go check out the other games in the series, so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked
I
it.
think this is the So I played Seven Sirens and I played a little bit of Risky's Revenge, and of the three, this is definitely the one I liked the most.
I'm gonna go back, play the Game Boy Color one, and I'm gonna find that that's the best one for me.
It kind of
Maybe.
makes me sad that you say this is the best one. Because I
We
feel
have
like if if the if this game could have been a lot, this type of game could be better than this game is,
But did you
I
still have
guess.
fun playing it?
I mean, yeah.
Then there you go. That's all that matters. You had fun?
this one's also kind of a lot different than the other ones. Like
Yeah.
this is a crest-like, and it's the one where she doesn't have the genie power, so she doesn't have any transformations, and the dancing is just like when you're sucking up the dark magic, which I
Suck it
felt
up,
like
Kirby!
I felt like the dance things is just clunky in the other games, where you just have to stand still and do nothing for quite a while.
I mean, that's pretty much Zelda's down B, though, if you think about it in the old Smashes, too.
Let's see, the down B is there reflect, is it? Or no, that's the switch to
In Melee, Brawl, and... Actually, just Melee and Brawl, because I switched in 4. It's the Switch. And then
yeah.
it got regulated to Pyra and Mithra.
I like watching the mayor in 4 times speed, like his sprite.
He's
He's
just
just
spinning boy.
yeah, it's very silly.
Oh.
Do we want to reveal the next game?
Sure. Oh wait, did you ever send me the thingy
Look
for
in
that?
the look at the very last thing in our podcast.
You just sent that literally 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, right when we needed it.
You mad
A
lad.
wizard, a wizard is never late.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Sure. Alright. Here, I gotta actually it should play. There we go. Did we watch this one time on one of the trailers?
I think so.
Cause I remember that song. I didn't remember it by its graphics. I remembered it by its song.
It did release
Damn good song.
April of this year, so
We
likely.
probably did. Such a good song. It's a bop.
I can check to see if it's.
But yeah, Lila Skyark is our next game club. Dethroned Momodura.
It was very close, came down to the wire, but at the last minute, pulled ahead.
Because Master Cauldrath and I discussed it, and we're like, yeah, maybe we should change our votes. So that's Master's fault. I didn't change my vote.
Don't tell people what I voted for. That's illegal.
No, it isn't.
Over it and see who voted for what.
People are gonna harass me because they wanted to play
I voted for Momodura. I wanted the boobs because I got it for like $3. Now I gotta pay $10. But it does look good.
In the spirit of Game Club, seems to be an obscure game.
Yeah, it's the spirit of my Twitch. Like Final Fantasy Tactics.
It was also released pretty recently.
It was.
Actually got it on one of the Epic Games sales.
Oh, nice.
They had 15% off and then like a coupon on top of that. Like ridiculous. But yeah, it is not a 2D platformer like side scroller.
It looks more like a Zelda-like.
Yeah, but it does have the Metroidvania tag on Steam.
So we'll see.
I just bought it.
Yeah.
I'll buy it later.
I mean, there's a lot of the Game Club games that we wouldn't strictly consider Metroidvanias anyway, like
Shantae.
Shantae
Hero and
was
Anthem
like,
Zero, Alwa's Legacy, or Awakening, Adventure Rebirth or whatever, or An Existence Rebirth. Literally only 2 have been MVs. And that has been it.
Well, we'll see how MV this one is. We'll discover it together.
We will.
You mean I'll discover it on my own, you'll discover it on your own. One of us may not even finish it, we'll see.
As a community, we'll discuss it on the Discord. Because it's the Game Club.
My discussions are literally like 2 sentences long, and then that's it, and then I don't even reply to most people.
I end up not writing many reviews of the game because I want to save it for the.
Yeah, we talk about it, so it's like, is there a point when
podcast.
we're gonna talk about it?
I mean, I do like basically a book report whenever I like put up the spoiler discussion.
Yeah, I've noticed. It's nice to read about, though.
Yeah. Oh well. But yeah, I hope those who played Shantae and the Pirate's Curse enjoyed it, and anyone that plays Lila's Skyark will also enjoy it.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Goodbye.
Have a nice night.